YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. The Albino Rhino is not going to review a fucking IPA review. Look, I have Burdock IPA on the table. I have two Niagara College IPAs on the table. I have a black IPA right on the floor. I have another black IPA. I don't want to do an IPA. Let's see what else we can find in this box. I don't have I didn't plan on doing anything but the beers on the table. And then I realized that everything on the table was a fucking IPA. And it's not that I hate IPAs, because there are a lot out there that I love, but I've done enough today. Well, not today, but in the last week, I've done enough IPAs. I don't want another one. You know what we will do? No, I'm going to save that one for Lachlan when he comes in 2 weeks. We'll do this one. We will do Innocente's Barrel Series, Drunkards Cloak, aged in red wine barrels. It is a Saison at 9.5% alcohol by volume. There you go. Bang. 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 Bang, bang. Oh man, my feet smell sour. I worked really hard tonight, and those work boots aren't forgiving to your feet. Aren't forgiven at all. Look, I had a little tiny touch of haze, a very interesting color. It's kind of coppery, copper and brass mixed together. Looks really nice. Bright white head, snap, crackle, pop. Exactly what I want to see, exactly what I want to hear. This is probably one of the darkest Saisons I've had, not other than like the few dark Saisons that have been made. Now, 9.5% alcohol by volume bothers me in any Saison, as you know, but at least this one was barrel aged, so it should have seeped a lot of alcohol out of the wine barrels. And it smells barrel aged like a... Here's something I've noticed, though. There are, we always make fun of what a bourbon barrel brings to a beer, and we're on Beer Dweebs United and all that. We always make fun of the fact that so many other barrels can do so many other things. Red wine barrels don't seem to bring all that. I shouldn't say don't bring all that much, but seem to, no matter what, bring the exact same things. I mean, you can get slight variations on the different whiskey barrels, on a rye barrel, on a scotch barrel, and this and that. And even the barrels themselves, some of them will come, sometimes a bourbon barrel aged thing will come out more coconutty, sometimes it'll come out more vanilla-like. With these, they all seem to be very similar. Yeah, lots of oak, lots of vanilla, a little bit of that grape/apple scent, just the fruit juice scent, a slightly sour scent, almost like Brett. It almost comes, it got this slightly sour, slightly farmyardy smell that's almost like Brett, but not Brett isn't a yeast you really want in wine. It's a yeast that usually destroys wine, from what I've been told by my friends who are into winemaking and everything else. But it seems like every time I get a red wine barrel aged beer, it kind of has that Brett-like scent to it. But yeah, vanilla, oak, like apple brandy-like scent, a little bit of funkiness, almost like my sour feet. Oh, not like my sour feet, funky like that. Cheers, let's try it. Okay. Light to medium bodied. Very minimal carbonation. The taste reminds me of my apple brandy over there. Well, it's that's wrong. It's an ice cider aged in apple brandy barrels is what I have over on the floor over there. And this reminds me of that. It reminds me of that very sweet forefront, like apple brandy-ish type of thing. Ice cider in apple brandy barrels. I don't know, I think because I like apple brandy that I keep saying apple brandy, but it comes off very sweet like the ice cider does. It comes off very oaky and very vanilla like the apple cider barrels add to that. Unlike that though, excuse me, this beer has an unrefined note to me, which is the very tanniny oakiness that dries out on the back end. Also a slight touch of a one second. Okay, so that apple flavor, that oaky flavor. The apple mixes with a vanilla note up at the forefront. There is a nice soft mouthfeel mixed with that vanilla note and that apple note. And then it goes into, again, that oaky dryness, and almost like there's nutmeg in it, because there's just, it's not like a clove, but it does the same thing as a clove. It just takes over and dries out the back of the mouth. I like it. 9.5% alcohol, a little bit of warmth in the throat, a little bit of warmth in the chest. Nothing that really would scream out 9.5, but it is something that says, hey, yeah, you are drinking alcohol. Unlike his other barrel beers, though, I don't think this is one that I love. I just like it. It is a solid beer. It's easy to drink. There's nothing wrong with it. And it's kind of scary to say it's easy to drink because it's 9.5% alcohol by volume. You sit back and you think about the history of beer, where beer was all in the 1 to 5% alcohol ranges and nothing more, and how we lived like that forever. And now if a beer's under 7%, you're I'm like, whatever. But at the same time, I want that 3.2% alcohol beer that's full flavored. I want that 3.5% alcohol beer. I want that 4% alcohol beer that's full of flavor. I want something with as much flavor as this, down at 3%. Because the fact that I look at a beer and go 7%, scares me. That scares me. It scares me for my liver. It scares me for when my kids are older. Out of 10 on this, you know what, I'll give it an 8.25. It's a fine beer. I really do enjoy it. I just don't think it's the best thing that's come out of Innocente. I do think it is a very good beer, though. I love the taste. I love the sweetness mixed with the barrel flavors, mixed with the dryness at the end. I don't get enough of standard Saison flavors in this. I think the barrel overwhelmed it. But I think a red wine barrel was a good choice for a Saison. I just think that it was overwhelmed by the barrel, and that can happen. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Cheerio, good sir. Yep. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye? No, bye-bye.